So today's video is a behind the scenes look at Dorney Park during their winter chill out event. It's a super cool for charity event.
Thank you very much. 100% of the ticket proceeds will go with Ann here and a big check presented by Snoopy ASAP. So we appreciate you being here today. Wish the weather could have been a little bit better, but I don't think that dampened any spirits. Maybe just your hoodies, your park apparel. Quick announcement before I get started. Bob Kane, the gentleman at the merchandise store, she's gonna model this for me. We've got some new merchandise for the season, and it is all available for purchase today. So if you're wondering, is that just a display or can I buy that? You can buy that. And I'd say the best time to do it is as you make your way out. Then you can grab, I love this by the way, grab a nice Hydra stuff. It has 5 heads. I don't know if anybody remembers the old one, but it had 2. This is much better. So you can grab these on your way out. There's also some new Iron Menace merchandise. And so Bob and Kim and team work really hard on developing this merch, and this hoodie's awesome. So make sure you grab that on your way out. Katie, who is our recruiter for human resources, is also there. So if you have any interest at any point in time getting into the industry or working at Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom, I would encourage you to talk to Katie. She knows way more than I do, and she's been doing this for a long time. So feel free to stop by and talk to her as well. Ann is actually going to address you inside of Whitewater Tavern, where we're going to get started. But Ann, did you want to say anything while you're on the big stage? I don't want to take that away from you. It seems like quite the experience.
I just thank you all for coming here today and being out here in the rain.
Mist. The maid of the mist. All right. So I just want to say, once again, thank you so much. As you folks noticed as you made your way in, the carousel horses are covered, and a lot of that is because as we prepare for the spring, we still got to make sure that the rides are well taken care of, even though we're starting to bring things out. So you're going to see some things in what I like to call the process, and our maintenance team works really hard to not only preserve things in the winter and feels weird with this thing. I feel like I'm along for the ride. I'm just joking. So there you are. Now we can start. I waited just for you. No problem. So as I was mentioning, you're going to see some things in process. Our maintenance team works really hard, but as they get things out, they still want to make sure that they're not exposed to the elements while we're maybe not operating yet. So you're going to see things covered. If you have any questions along the way, we're going to have a lot of great people that can talk to you. Today you're going to get a great behind the scenes at Talon. Of course, we had to do Hydra because it's its 20th anniversary. 3 cheers for Hydra, or applause. Yay. Great ride. Talon, the great ride. I think I twisted everybody's arm to do Talon because it's my favorite at the park. Sans Iron Menace, which is our baby. We're also going to get to go into Wildwater Kingdom today, which is great because it's the 40th anniversary. So let's do Dorney and Wildwater Kingdom. So we had to add that today. Lightning Falls and Cascade. We've got some stuff set up out there so you guys can see as we begin the construction process. As you know, we're reimagining it, reinvigorating it, whatever you want to call it. So you'll see the fiberglass out there, and we're getting the process started, so they'll walk you through that. You'll also get to see the revamp of Tradewinds, which is moving kind of across the midway, and you'll also get to see construction in process at 21 and Colder, which is our new bar experience in Wildwater Kingdom. So we're excited to show you all that stuff. Also got some kind of maintenance behind the scenes for you today. I won't spoil that too much. And you're also going to get to see our food and beverage team hard at work, and they've got some great things for you to sample and taste. So that's something new this year. Really excited to show that off. So yeah, you get some taste of the 2025 season. There's also snacks in Whitewater Tavern. Thank you once again for being here. We appreciate it.
That is about the behind the scenes of Dorney Park during their winter event. If you've ever wondered what happens at an amusement park during its off season, you're going to stick around and get a super cool inside look at all the behind the scenes action. So come on with me and let's go. So Winter Chill Out is a special event for park fans, coaster enthusiasts, or anyone who wants to know how a park operates during the winter months. You'll get a sneak peek of ride maintenance, construction updates, and even some exciting announcements coming up for the park. Plus, all the proceeds go to charity. So what's cooler than that? You also get to see ride maintenance area. So that's one of the first areas on the tour. After kind of their announcements and their things that they have coming up, they did that indoors because it was pretty chilly that day and kind of foggy. So after that, the first kind of area that you go through in the tour is ride maintenance. And we got to see Talon, which is one of my favorite inverted roller coasters in the country. And we got to see its maintenance bay. So they take off the track, or not the track, sorry, they take off the ride vehicles off the track and bring them down into a maintenance area so they can do work on them. And even sometimes they take apart the whole entire train during the winter and they'll put it back together. And they'll fix different like wheels and other things, that wear and tear throughout the year on the ride. So it's really cool. We also got to go up to the maintenance bay where they keep the extra ride vehicles during the winter, or if they're on a day where they only use one car, that's where they keep them. So we got to see that area, and we got to talk to a mechanic who told us all about what they do, and they even use drones to check areas of the track and stuff like that, which was a lot harder to do when the coaster was originally built. And so now they just have a drone who goes through and they operate it, and they can look at all the track, inspect it for anything and those such. It's really cool. We also got to check out the new for 2025 stuff.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talon's storage and transfer area. We're going to go over a little bit of daily inspection with the annual track inspection, and then what that monster does for us yearly. So we'll see maybe see some flagging tape on our track somewhere. It's just where one crew left off, the other crew comes and picks up on the inspection. We have multiple people working. Make sure this gets inspected. We do it 4 times a year. Manufacturer requires we do a close visual inspection, so within 2 to 3 feet. We use man reaches to get up to every inch of this track. We look at every bolt visually 4 times a year, every track-to-track connection, column-to-column connection. And then once a year, P&M requires us to torque check 5% of our bolts. We have roughly 8,500 bolts on this ride, which comes out to about 450 bolts a year that we put either a torque wrench, a torque gun, or a multiplier on. This is basically just a gear reducer. It takes your normal 100% torque and takes it, puts it 27 to 1. So instead of pulling 1,300 foot-pounds, you can pull 30 foot-pounds on a half-inch torque wrench. Makes our lives a lot easier. Our drone. It is, for all the tech people out there, 1080p at 30 feet per second frame rate. I believe it has a 200 times zoom, and it takes 2 operators to operate 1 or 2 fly at the same time, and 1 or 2 operate cameras. State law, we have to have a FAA pilot, certified FAA pilot operate the drone. We do have him on staff, and he will be flying around and getting that drone within 2 to 3 feet of our track.
How you guys doing? I'm great. Hey, it's good to see you. Did you guys have a good first tour? Yeah? Awesome. So I know you guys are ride enthusiasts, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what is happening here, because there's a lot of construction going on right here. And as we walk around, I'll be able to show you a little bit of what is going on inside. How many of you know the gift shop that was here? How many of you have been inside the gift shop? Oh, that's impressive. Thank you. I love that. So the gift shop that was over here, Trade Winds, has been here since the dawn of time, and is a great gift shop. But I will be quite honest with you, it does almost or more than what Good Time Gifts, the main gift shop at the front of the park, it does almost the same amount of money, at least during the summer. And it's a teeny tiny shop comparatively, right? And we know that the shop could do more, but from a merchandising standpoint, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this building. So if you look, you see the bird's nest that's up there. There's a lot of equipment that's going through the ceiling of this store. and we were not able to lift anything and lift the ceiling in that store, so we couldn't merchandise appropriately, and it wasn't very shoppable. So we were trying to figure out what to do, and the decision was we could tear down the building and start over. It's probably not a good thought in our world. Or we could swap the buildings. So if you remember, this building was Subway here, and there was Schooners, which was the new bar that was over here. We decided to take Schooner's concept, put it over here, and build a bar on that side, make that gift shop a bar, and then instead, this becomes the gift shop. So it'll still be Tradewinds, it'll be a whole new concept gift shop. The great part of it is, as we walk this way, you'll see that there's a door up here. If you remember, Schooner's was a walk-up bar. It had this giant opening in the front that you can hear, so that's how you can see the construction. Now, we're going to bring this whole thing out, and there will be a market out here for people to shop through, and then they can walk through the store. And then if you look, the ceiling in this part, if you cannot, don't go across the threshold, guys. You can go up to the door, though. But you can see the ceiling is much higher on this side than it was on the Tradewinds side. So we can merchandise significantly better, right? And it's a straight shot. The other part that is impactful is that there will be one centralized cash wrap. So guests won't have to decide where you're going and what side you're going to. There will be one cash wrap that's really efficient for people to get through. Yeah. We will also have a register outside here. So you see this jut out in this pathway right there, that red part? So that used to be an ATM back in the day. So now it's a closet, but it has like IT and it has power in there. And so we'll have a register that we can pull out. So if you just shop to the market, you could just go right there and get your stuff and leave. You don't have to worry about getting through the line or going through the store. You just kind of do what you want to do. Yeah. So we're really excited about what this is going to look like. It'll be more in the style of Steelyard Gifts. So if you remember what Steelyard Gifts looks like, that there's sections for everything, right? And there's displays up at the top. This will be very similar. Always water focused, right? There will be brand new lines that we're bringing in that are Wild Water Kingdom specific. So if you were here last year, we had like one or two pieces that were Wild Water Kingdom. Now we'll have a full assortment of things that are for this park. And as we continue to evolve, you'll see like very much like we do with the dry park, if we have like Talon product and Steel Force product and Iron Menace, we will start to have product that has to do with the rides that are in Wild Water Kingdom. So a little bit different than things that we have done before, right? All right, so as we transition over here and you look on this side, Tradewinds, what was Tradewinds, will become a new bar. It will not be Schooners. So Schooners was our bar concept here, but now it is going to change to be a new brand that is common across a lot of parks that are in now the Six Flags family, and it's called 21 and Colder. Instead of 21 and older, 21 and colder. Yeah. So the 21 and colder concept is in a lot of different places. There will be a merchandise component to it. There will be branded drink vessels here. It'll be very similar to what you saw at Schooners, where it was a walk-up bar that was happening. We'll still have a walk-up bar, but there will be seating on the inside so that people can stop and have a drink on the inside instead of always being on the outside. Fully air-conditioned building, have all the frozen beverages, all the beers, everything that we had before, but much larger, nicer, nicer area, fully new, brand new concept on the inside. We're thinking about putting TVs in there. We haven't decided yet. We're not trying to make it a sports bar. We have a sports bar, right? So we'll see if we're going to put any TVs in there. But the coolest component, in my opinion, because I'm one, the merchandise person, but also the food and beverage person, is the merchandise component to it. So there will be t-shirts and hoodies and hats and drink vessels that you guys can buy and take home with you. That'll be in a 21 and colder concept. As this continues, that 21 and colder brand will be very like kitschy, where there's little sayings that are like puns, kind of like the 21 and colder pun. So you'll see more and more product that kind of evolves in here. You won't buy the product in here. You'll probably buy it over at the Tradewinds side, or you'll see it at Good Time Gifts. But there will be a whole like component here to what's happening. Cool. Questions? Any questions at all about what's happening here? The construction? Why?
I think it's good placement for you, even for people who don't go to the water park. They can just kind of walk.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right here when you come in. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, and it was interesting when we talked about it. We talked about like when a guest is standing there, you know, when the gate is closed and you're looking. Now the first thing you're going to see is a retail shop, and so many times people come here and they forget half the things you need. They forget a towel, they forget their water shoes, they forget what water shoes is the biggest thing. We sell more water shoes than most water parks in the family of parks. I don't know why. We have a separate water park. You know that you're coming here for water, but they forget it. So that's a big component. So in that shop, we're setting up like a giant section, and there'll be benches for people to sit and try on what they need. So it'll be like much more guest friendly. Instead of, if you remember, there was a section in the back and you could walk up and get your shoes, but like you're outside and you're on the concrete and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a great situation.
I bought you shoes here.
Right? It happens all the time.
Hasn't changed since like '88.
Yeah, it's been the same. Yeah, when I came here and I was a kid, I was like, oh, we came and I was like, oh, I need something for my feet, because you can't like just walk around here. It's hot and it's like it's not a good scene. And I guess it's something you just don't think about. So, yeah, so it should be great. We're really excited. There will be like a lot of new developed product in there that is stuff that you didn't see in trade. So I think you guys would be really happy with the things that you're seeing.
So since Dorney had opened Iron Menace last year, they aren't going to have some like big roller coaster announcement or anything like that coming down the pipeline. But they do have some water park stuff coming down the pipeline. And so we got to see kind of the construction on that. There was an old water slide there that everyone loved, but it kind of hit its shelf life. And so now they came in and are building a new one, kind of reminiscent of the old, and they talked about that with us. They're also doing some like renovations to a bar and stuff like that, and there's going to be a new restaurant that is coming out, and of course my cat is meowing in the background. One moment. So I let my cat out the room because he obviously wanted out. Mr. Soul Cat. Where was I?
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen Artizzoni. I'm the Director of Operations, Safety, and Security. And this is Stephanie. Stephanie is our manager for safety and water park. So we are very excited about this project. I think water park is kind of always in our hearts the most. Although, as the rides person as well, I loved our last year's too. I wanted some more. So we have decided this past year, obviously, if you were at the park, we took Lightning Falls down. Kind of just end of life. We wanted to really make it better. This was originally a build from Surf Coaster, and they're no longer in business anymore. So we wanted to do something a little bit fresher, a little cleaner. So we took this down, same exact product as Cedar Point up at the shores there. So they also got the same reimagined layout and product. So just a couple of things we wanted to put out here for you. If you're not familiar with water park build stuff, foundations go into place. So foundation pours with rods, and then we also have our plates where they come in, and that's what you see sticking out, right? We did have to do a lot of foundation work on this. So initially when we went to Whitewater West and said, hey, we would like to put in a new product, they were like, yeah, we think we can use most of the foundations. Well, engineering and architecture came in, looked at it, and they were like, yeah, nope, we've got some soil. There's soil sampling things that has to go on as well. So we found that we do have to pour some more foundations. We also have with the new build, if you turn around behind you, we've got the layout there of what it's going to look like. We have it's a little bit more as far as there's another 360 in there based on before. We wrote down some stats to give you some ideas. So the old one, Run A, which is going to be your one, I think on the right side of that photo, I believe, was about 466 feet of glass previously, and Run B, which I think on the left was about C Run was 462. So we're changing that, and that's going to be up to 477 and 515. One of the nice things with this is previously in Lightning Falls, we could only take a single tube down it, a 48-inch tube. So now we're able to do singles and doubles in that, which is going to make it definitely much more efficient. We can get more riders on it, which we want to do. But we're really excited. I'm excited with our fiberglass, because our fiberglass is going to have translucent pieces in it. And then it's got a really cool color pattern, so you're not familiar much with fiberglass. So these are your solid pieces, and this would be translucent. So it allows a lot of light. And in addition, we have a lot of these cutouts. So while you're gonna have a lot of enclosed spaces, you're gonna have a lot of sunlight that able to come in, but it actually creates a really cool environment when you're going down it. Because you see those things and they start to create shadowing and stuff. So it makes it a really fun ride. You're more than welcome to take a look at it. So some of them are bottom pieces, some of them are top pieces. And if you don't know much about water slides and fiberglass to begin with, some pieces are transition pieces, some pieces are called what we call an accelerator piece. So we're excited to see that. We've gotten a lot of our glass in. This glass is in from Turkey. So a lot of our stuff is coming from different locations. We're waiting on an order from the Philippines to come in. That's just kind of the nature of getting fiberglass in right now. Fiberglass is pretty expensive to make. So, and if you don't know Whitewater West is out of Canada. So a lot of them were doing fiberglass, and ProSlide's another big manufacturer. They were doing a lot of their fabrications in their home offices or shops right outside, and they've probably realized it's much more cost efficient to go to some of these other locations. But yeah, so any questions that you guys have on?
How much longer do you think the lifespan will be for Cascade? Because that's still part of the original, right?
Yeah, you know what's interesting though, Cascade, it definitely needs a re-gel coat right now, but and I'm glad you brought that up, so I'll segue to something else on that. It's different because the thickness on that one is slightly different, so it can actually hold up better. And if you look at the way the foundation supports are on that, that thing will probably outlive us. That's my opinion.
It's a nice little piece of remainder of what was before. You know, a lot of us grew up riding Lightning Falls back when it was called, what, Waima Niagara? I think way back in the
maybe.
day.
I don't even know that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it's interesting too when you go up there because it does hold a piece of history. Like just even looking at the start tubs, it's set up as like a basin versus it's like a start tub. So it's really, really different than what the more modern pieces are out there. So, yeah, I don't know. I think eventually we'll get to the gel coat. I will say the other thing that we did out here, and you won't notice it necessarily on the outsides, is we took through 8 of our slides. All of our body slides got a complete re-gel coat this year. So all the seams got redone and a new gel coat. So you definitely will see, like when you look at those slides, they're smoother, they're prettier, they're brighter. We deal with a lot of mineral content in our water here. And so that affects a lot of the way the path and the ride goes. So it was due, and we're going to kind of try to keep doing a balance, I think, of investment between this side and that side. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
This ride was built in 2014. I was already working here, so we've seen it from beginning to end. Seen just about everything that you could see. Weird stuff, good stuff. Down here, we can't go down to the pit, unfortunately. It's a ship ladder, so it's not safe for you guys to climb down. But this is the filter pump down here. We have 2 stainless baskets that we clean at least once a day, sometimes twice, depending on demand. Here's the disconnect, flow meter. This system has pneumatic valves that, when you turn the filter on, that valve closes, this valve opens, and it just pre-coats. It runs at a slower rate of speed, and it coats the fingers with the perlite. It's on a timer, maybe like 30 seconds. Then it kicks on, tells the filter pump to go full speed.
What's perlite?
Perlite it's the media that goes in this filter. We have other filters that are sand filters. This is our only Defender filter. The advantage is it saves water. A sand filter, when you're backwashing, you're throwing away like thousands of gallons. Where this, when you backwash it, it's not really a backwash. You bump it, and there's a bladder inside that works off of air. There's a curtain in there with fingers, and it shakes down the fingers, and then it gets reconstituted. So theoretically, the only time you dump water is when you're changing the media. Now the media has a life. It's like, could be 2 weeks, could be a month, depending on demand. In the beginning part of the season, we'll fill it. It lasts maybe 3 days because we have leaves and winter debris. It'll get filthy right away, the pressure spike. Then we dump it, put new stuff in. We vacuum it in, that vacuum on the back actually vacuums into the filter. We change the valves around so it passes through. Becomes like basically a giant vacuum. Those on top there, that's what the fingers look like. They're much longer than that, it's just a sample. There's a bunch of them there, you can see. There's a little porthole window where you can actually see inside there, right about where he's standing.
Is this only for snake pit?
Only for snake pit.
Does each ride have its own unique system like
You got it, yeah. Wow. Most of them are sand filters, this is the only one.